Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and this is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads and discuss what's good and bad about them. The ad was helped chosen by the guys at Contagious.com, so thanks for continuing to partner with us, guys, and go and check those guys out after the show. So let's move on to meet this week's guests.
Hi, I'm Lucy McKillop. My job title is the Client Experience Director at the Diversity Standards Collective.
Hi, I'm Pollyanna Ward, and I'm Head of Paid Social at Social Chain Agency.
Hi, I'm Sophie Rock, and I'm the PR and Sustainability Manager at Beiersdorf UK.
Thanks so much for joining us today, guys. Let's see this week's ad.
So what do you get when the mayor of Flavortown hangs out with the cool kids from Motor City? You get yourself an apple pie hot dog. First, pie crust. Kind of roll that out into a rectangle, and then some bacon jam, getting your bacon nice and crispy, and then cooking it down with a little brown sugar, a little honey, and apple cider vinegar. Apple pie filling. I imagine you probably have an awesome apple pie filling that your grandma used to make, but if you want to get that canned stuff, it's fine to use in this regular hot dog. I'm gonna brush the edges of this with some egg wash, and you're gonna have to stretch that top piece because you gotta work over the top of that hot dog. Give it a little crimp, raw sugar, little pie spice on top of that. Pop it in the oven, 350, 18 to 20 minutes. Here's the final steps. 50-50 apple pie filling and yellow mustard. Some crumbled bacon, and there you have it, the apple pie hot dog. You're gonna dig it.
Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Pollyanna, what do you make of that when you first saw it?
Yeah, it just kind of felt a bit Billy Basic. I was kind of expecting there to be, when it got to the end and it was like, oh, it's a Chevrolet ad. I just thought, I don't know, was he going to grill it in the car? Was he going to drive away? There was no exciting punchline. It felt like the punchline was sort of reliant on the remixed jingle from the ad from years ago. So yeah, it just felt a bit bland, if I'm going to be the contrarian here.
When I first watched it, it gave me more questions than answers, I have to say. Is it an ad? Was one of my first questions. And then I guess I had to also Google who Guy Ferry is. Probably sort of shines a light on me not really knowing very much about American culture. But once I did, this idea of the kind of quintessentially or kind of classically American vibe that Chevrolet is, baseball is, and Guy Ferry is, it kind of made sense, but it took digging into it and using my kind of brand partnership brain to go, okay, yeah, actually, this is probably a lesson in great personal brand partnership rather than great kind of, brand advertising.
I just thought it was weird. I found it really strange. And also I think the food just put me off. It looked disgusting. But I mean, I love a hot dog and I love apple pie. I'm just not sure I'd want to put them together. Yeah, I just didn't really know what it was until I Googled it. And then it kind of made a bit more sense. So I think strategically they were clearly trying to make a nod to this kind of Americana that they were trying to celebrate. This was all based around this kind of celebratory baseball game, randomly based on the Kevin Costner film Field of Dreams. There was some big game happening in the States that was kind of a groundbreaking game in Iowa that the stadium had been built for. This hot dog recipe was the official snack of the game, basically. And I guess because of the link that Chevrolet had to baseball, I think they were just trying to basically tap into that through this partnership. I think the bits of the idea actually, I think, was quite clever in terms of trying to sort of, build this game up and try and get a link for Chevrolet into kind of celebrating this nostalgic Americana thing. But I guess unless you are massively following that game or baseball and knowing what that context was, it kind of washes over you if you just watch that ad out of context for me.
If I'm honest, if it's just online content, it feels like it doesn't have the padding around it to kind of give you the why. You can see what, and you can kind of piece together that, okay, yeah, this makes sense, but why?
Okay, so Pollyanna, what would have made this better? You're the creative director here, and like assuming that the spot was in the right place on the right channel at the right time for the right audience, what would you have done differently?
I guess in the most obvious way possible is they used Instagram text overlays on YouTube. So that already was a no-go in my area. But taking the creative as it is, let's say it was in the right place, the right time and everything else. I think for me, it's more around the amplification side of things, because I didn't actually see it as coming back to the Americana roots. I saw it quite similar to the Old Spice campaign, where it was trying to tap into nostalgia in a way to modernize the brand. So that jingle, they then remixed it. But then what was interesting was it was kind of like a drop in the ocean, because it had got notes here, like they had 3 videos on Instagram, but with no paid amplification. And he did a call out on TikTok on their channel going, you know, do a duet to this song or whatever. And it got 18 videos. And you just think, how much did they pay for Guy Fieri? And all they got was 18 videos. Like,
well, to add to that, I looked on Google Trends and it maxed out at 100.
What homework. That is very impressive.
And it only got 100 hits.
I think maybe it was just too much. It was too random without you knowing all of that background.
I wonder if you flip it and you look at it from the perspective of, is this a good brand partnership for Guy Fieri? Right? So instead of looking at it from the Chevrolet perspective, you go, okay, what's Guy Fieri's brand? What does he like doing? What does he represent? Who's his audience? Maybe that's how it works. But again, why? Like why? And what are all the questions that we've addressed? Like what do we want Guy Fieri's audience to do? Yeah, probably they're more likely to go and make it. But does that then make them more likely to have an affinity towards buying a Chevrolet, or go to the baseball? Like there's just so many things that I think potentially are hurdles.
But even like the PR drops that they did, it was oven mitts and cooking equipment. I was like, where's the car key fob? Where's the I don't know, like the bum seat warmer for winter? I don't know. There was just nothing to do with
a hot dog holder.
Or hot dog holder in your car,
Your car. Come on, guys.
Okay. Yeah, we would have gone into the range of car cooking merch. I also just thought that the actual imagery itself, I don't know whether it was deliberately designed to be a bit, I don't know, cheeky.
Isn't this at least different? Isn't this going to make them, put them in a slightly different place? I mean, is this actually an innovative ad?
I suppose it depends on what their objective is as well. I don't know much about Chevrolet and what their position is, and if they're doing badly or not. But
I had written like reinvigorate some brand love with a question mark.
It could be what they were trying to do.
I think you could do it better. If your sweet spot is this kind of cooking piece that we're reviewing, like, could you set it in a more kind of nostalgic background? Could you have a kind of series of nostalgic replays of the old ads? Could you work it into a wider campaign that makes sense and hangs it better?
I think as well, just whether it's innovation or just sort of any kind of advertising, something that it doesn't apply to every single brief, but something that I'm always really interested in is challenge, like coming from the in-house perspective, when I used to challenge briefs, is always that the brand should be the catalyst for said event to happen. I mean, I imagine if I take the Old Spice example, it's like Old Spice is the catalyst to your man smelling great, or like Nivea is the catalyst for your skin being super soft and being a great mum. I just don't get the it just feels like there was this really lovely jingle in the 70s, and maybe it didn't need to change. It could have just existed as that jingle, because it is just a little bit like, it's hilarious when you watch the ad back, because
So unfortunately, we are at the end of the show. Going to count to 3, and you are going to vote for how good you think this ad is on a scale of 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, a 2, a 1, and a 2. Lucy, Pollyanna, Sophie, thank you so much.